Piano Annie here with the Peaceful Puggle, a 24-bar blues named for my adorable Puggle Ellie, who is sometimes peaceful and sometimes not. A couple ideas we'll be using in this is being a lazy sloth at the keyboard, which means using chords that are close together. And then I'll introduce the double triplet, which just means a triplet, but with twice as many notes in the right hand. So I'll show you afterwards. All right, here's what the Peaceful Puggle sounds like. Okay, so that's the Peaceful Puggle. What was I doing there? Well, we started with the usual left hand, which is just 2 5th intervals, 2 6th intervals in a swing rhythm in the key of C. And I opened with a C6 chord, which is C, E, G, A. And I slid into that from an E flat, okay? So it was that, and then there's a general rule that if you use the major chord from the 4th note of whatever scale you're in, that it will sound good while you're in that key there. So since we were in our C position, the 4th note is F, and then I just hit an F major. So I went from this C6 to this F major. And then you saw that at times I added another chord, which really, I just went up to this, which is G, B flat, C, which is just a C7 in that form with the E dropped. So I did C6, the F major, and then I do some kind of weird fingering, but you can use whatever you want, but just do the G, B flat, C. So it's just a C7, okay? Which also sounds good when you're in C. So I also used 2 pickup notes with my thumb at some points, which was just C, D, and I would do that before sliding into the C6, okay? So it was like this for the C. And then you can end it on the F sound, or you could just hold it here and end it on the C6. I believe that I do both at different times. And then when you're in the F portion, same idea, but you use this as your starter chord, okay, which is just an F7, but we changed the F to a G, okay, so it's like this. And then the other chord that we introduced, which is the same idea, finding the 4th note of the F scale, which is a B flat. So here's a B flat major, but I put the F on the bottom, so it looks like that. So I went from this, my initial F chord, then to this B flat major. And then when it was time to introduce a 3rd chord, I just went up, I did G, A, E flat, which is just a version of the, again, the F7, but dropping the C, which would be here, and then changing the F to a G. So I think it sounds kind of fun and funky. And then in the G portion, I went to this version of the G7, Okay, so G, B, D, and then the F on the bottom. And then it was easy for me to find the C major because C is the fourth note of the G scale. And I just went up to this version of the C major. Okay, that was all I did with the G portion. And then it was time to get to the second portion. So I just did a quick slide from this chord into the G7 to give me that G sound for a bit of a transition. And then I went into the double triplet, which is just using, instead of doing a normal triplet, which is 1, 2, 3, right? So 2 notes with the first strike, and then just 1 note with the second strike in the left hand. I would add 4 notes with the first strike, and then 2 notes with the second strike. So here's regular. And then here's at using twice as many notes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, but I did that with my C6 and my F chord and a little bit with my G7. So when I did it with the C6, just notice that if you want the same sound that I had, I used pinky, thumb, pointer, middle finger, and I went in that order. Okay, so C, E, G, A. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it was like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? And same thing in F, but you just change it to an E flat. And then the very brief time that I did it in G, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you may have also noticed that there were times where I did it at double speed. And then when I got to the end of it, that portion, I would sometimes just slow down to regular triplets. So it was like, let's see. Okay, it would go back and forth, and you'll hear that if you re-listen to it. Oh, then there was the ending. So I end up landing on the C6 chord at the ending, and then I just went into this, and you can make up your own ending, but I just went into a very simple F6, and then up to a G6, then I climbed up to a B in the left hand, and here I just did a neighboring chord with a B, E flat, G flat, A flat, and which takes me then right into a nice C6 with an A sound on top, and I just did a C octave in the left, something like that. So it was, I think I landed here, and then I just did. Okay? All right, so let me play it one more time for you, now that you know what's going on. Okay, so that is the Peaceful Puggle, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.